Hi guys, Con here. So it wasn't too long ago that I had just reviewed the Renault Captur, but today I am now reviewing another Renault Captur. This is a facelifted model. So right now, let me just take you through the differences between this facelift and the pre-facelift version. Okay, now at a glance, the visual differences between the facelift and pre-facelift model are subtle, but they are noticeable. Okay, so immediately you notice rims are different. The bumper trim also is different. So you see this chrome surround on the pre-facelift model is now become this C-shaped. All right, the what you call it, the lower fog lamp slot has also been remolded. This is the new one, and this was the old one. Okay, headlight units are the same. All right, you get halogen projectors, and here there's this extra strip here, this black strip here, all right, which was not present before. All right, so not sure why they added that. It doesn't seem noticeable. Okay, so some of you sharp-eyed viewers may also notice that this unit here has front parking sensors. This was not previously there. This is a retrofit by the current owner of this vehicle. This unit is actually the same unit that was featured in my previous review, but now bought over by one of Renault's staff. Okay, so yeah, the Captur does not have front parking sensors, no big deal. So just to show you, I've just started the engine. This is this whole C shape is the daytime running lights. Okay, you get halogen projector headlamps here, right? You still get the same dual tone bodywork, all right, bright color at the lower body, and the whole upper part is painted black. Yep, same carry over as before. Still get keyless entry on both sides. So from here we can see that the tail lights are also slightly different. Okay, you see that the tail lights are just a normal shade of red. This one is darkened. It's darkened, same shape but darkened. The bumper too has been given a subtle touch. This diffuser element has been reshaped. Okay, you get these 3 bulges as opposed to 2 before that. So it is a very subtle update, subtle but noticeable. Okay, so let me just take a step back and show you the difference between the pre and post facelift cars. Alright, so let's look inside the boot. Okay, no change here, still the same old, right? There's this little hook here that you can use to hook your shopping bags. You can lift this up. Now here's as I showed before in my previous video, don't mind highlighting that again. So this is just one a split layer boot, right? So a split level floor. So what you can do is you can lift this, slide it down that hole there to hold this up while you want to put your things in. Okay, or you can just pull this up and lay it down like this to give you greater depth to your boot floor. This lever here allows you to adjust your boot, your seats. But all right, yep. So you pull this, that enables forward and backward adjustment of the seats, right? And of course you can, and when you raise this boot floor up, you can fold the seats down. All right, give you a decently flat loading floor. Now then you come to the passenger cabin. All right, I'm gonna lift this back again. Now, major change here. The Captur has now adopted leather upholstery. The previous funky fabrics are now gone. Apparently, I was told that it was the fabric, you know, the one where you can change the various fabrics, right? There with all the zip you can pull out, right? Not very well received by customers, so Renault has ditched them all together. So you've got ISOFIX mounts here. You still, of course, get the split folding seats, and yeah, so safety belt that emerged from the seat. But one thing, we had this issue with this particular car is that the seat belt buckle keeps hitting against the plastic, okay, the plastic panel as we drive. Overall, this no change here in other things. And come to the front. Now here is a look at the door card. This the side mirror adjustment previously was the knob. Now they've just changed to four directional buttons. Okay, here is the cabin. Looks similar at first glance, right? But a few minor updates. The basic architecture is the same, so you get steering mounted controls on this this what you call it, this stalk here. Okay, cruise controls are on the steering, but the on-off switch is here. You can activate cruise control or speed limit. This center console area has been reorganized. All right, supposed to give better practicality. Okay, so this area is now better maximized. You get a 12 volts 12-volt socket. This cup holder also is enlarged. I think this is removable. Yep, this is removable. I don't get what this is for, and this rubber piece came out quite easily for me. Yeah, this could be in some markets all-wheel drive control knob, but I can't be sure of that. Here this area is unchanged, and yeah, so this aircon controls. Oh, this one moves it left and right, and this one adjusts opening and closing. This piece here, this lid also has been re-engineered, though I can't fathom why. The previous one was a very solid piece. This one feels not as solid. Maybe Renault realized they spent too much money on the previous one and they decided to cost this particular one down. Not one that I would blame them enormously. It still feels of decent quality, so no biggie there. And glove box still like that lah, still the same. Yep, no change. Here's the instrument cluster, same as before. So overall, this is a competently built cabin, nothing fancy. Slightly improved utility factor on this center console, but basically pretty much the same as what we got before. So the last time I drove the Captur, right, my conclusion was that this car has a good chassis, a very competent chassis. The engine is acceptable, okay, I mean it's good enough for town driving, but the transmission, the dual 6-speed dual clutch transmission, was a bit of a letdown in terms of its low speed smoothness particularly, right? And this is even granting the fact that dual clutch transmissions are inherently susceptible to jerks at low speed. Yeah, so definitely the last time I drove this car, the DCT really was not the best example of what the technology has to offer. It offered practically none of the benefits of a DCT and effectively amplified all its weaknesses. Previously, I also noted that the fuel economy of this vehicle, although that was a conclusion drawn based on my driving experience from an even earlier event, okay, but yeah, this 1.2 liter engine, anyway, based on the way this car behaves, okay, based on the way it responds towards throttle inputs, I'm inclined to believe that over long usage, most users will find this vehicle to be pretty fuel efficient. Now, this, just less than 1 year on, this facelifted version that I'm driving here, compared to the earlier vehicle that I drove, certainly feels more refined. Okay, the transmission now acquits itself better to the demands of city driving. All right, there is less jerkiness in stop-start traffic, and I would say that is perhaps the single most important improvement that Renault could implement on the Captur, because what it does is that it significantly levels up the day-to-day usability of this car. And considering the target market that that this car is aimed at, I'd say that's pretty important. So yeah, if let's say like when you go over a bump, for example, first you notice that the suspension soaks up the uneven surface well enough, but once you clear the bump and you want to get back on the throttle, you do notice a slight bit of hesitancy from the throttle, but not as certainly not as severe as it was with the car that I drove previously. Yeah, so overall, my conclusions from the previous review largely unchanged, but certain thoughts have to be retweaked. Okay, so what we have here, this is still a car that drives well, handles well, rides well in the context of its segment. Okay, a very nice chassis, engine is good enough to keep up with urban traffic. Okay, and the transmission's improvement is perhaps the most welcome. All right, we also notice the subtle improvements throughout the cabin. That is also very much welcomed. And yeah, so overall, this new facelifted Captur certainly is an improved product from what was before. And yeah, so it is now a more recommended purchase than what it was before. Yeah, so of course at this price range, okay, of the 110,000 bracket, the HRV is still an automatic choice. All right, and of course we are all expecting the all-new Proton X70 to come in at this price bracket as well. Then you also have the likes of the ASX, the Subaru XV. All these are also available for roughly the same money, and you won't go wrong with any of those. But now the Captur certainly has less flaws to pick on, because the biggest flaw of this vehicle, the dual clutch transmission, is refined, and it is now just a better car than what it was before. Alright guys, hope you enjoyed today's video. If you like my content, click on the subscribe button. Press the bell icon to toggle the frequency of updates every time I upload a new video. And don't forget also to check out the channels of Bobby, Bing and Fadil, okay, of the Horizon team. And until my next video, thanks for watching. Bye for now.